What is up, everyone? This is 7 Octoberz here with another lyrics breakdown. Today, I wanted to do one of my other latest released tracks, features, if you want to call it. It's called Immortal. It's featured on the homies project Cataleya, that is by Kheyzine. Shout out to the homie Kheyzine out of France. So shout out to everybody in France and everybody up there in Europe. So that's fucking dope, to be a part of this project, and amongst other dope MCs who happen to also be dope females as well. So I'm honored to be part of that project, and to have, like I said, my project somewhere by pretty much by a French producer, which is fucking dope. So shout out to Kheyzine. Shout out to Dan Akil, who mixed and mastered the project. Shout out to Molita, who did the drawing, I believe Cataleya, if I'm not mistaken, and the artwork by Loizo. So hopefully I didn't butcher anybody's name, but shout out to everybody, all the dope MCs that were on there. Too many to name, but I'll put the link in the bio. In my Instagram, for the Bandcamp, it has all the artists on there as well, that are featured on the project. So go cop the project, support Kheyzine, support the artist. Yeah. So pretty much we'll get into it real quick. I'm gonna break it down. This is another track that is also Spanglish as well, which I love to do, because I always want to keep my language, my native language, alive. So I put it in my lyrics as well. So I'll play again the parts of the first verse, and this is pretty much kind of like, I guess, freestyle format, whatever you want to call it, but it's pretty much just one verse, and then I did a hook, which is the Immortal hook. So and then to start it off, I kind of wanted to give it a movie vibe. Again, I'm a whole like cinema fanatic, and I love movies in general. Horror movies obviously are my favorite, but I like just movies in general. I grew up watching them as a little kid. Grew up in the era of like Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and all that shit. So that plays a big part in my lyrics. So for this track, I wanted to give it that, like I said, movie vibe. When Kheyzine reached out to me, he said he was doing a Cataleya project. That was fucking dope. I love the movie Colombiana. When it first came out, I like watched that shit like over and over. I really love that. Zoe Saldana like played a dope ass character of an assassin, but with it's pretty much like a revenge story, avenging her parents' death and everything. So I wanted to add the vibe of the movie, and I wanted to follow kind of like the storyline of Cataleya, who she is, why she does what she does. So I wanted to incorporate the movie. So when you hear the first clip in that song, in the Immortal song, it's young Cataleya, when she's talking to her uncle, and he asked her like what she wants to be, and she said she first wanted to be like Cena the Warrior Princess, which I grew up in that, like that's my 90s era. But then now she wants to be a killer. So I thought that was like a fucking dope part of the movie. One of my favorite scenes. It kind of shows, it's kind of sad, like she didn't really get to even live a childhood because she was too focused on avenging her parents' death, which I understand. So I thought that was really dope scene, a deep scene as well, and I want to incorporate it into my track. So that's why I added it. When I sent it back to Kheyzine, I clipped it, I think, from YouTube or something, and then Dan Akil did a fucking great job with the mix and mastering. He echoed it and all that stuff, and then it goes into my verse. So let's play the track real quick. Here we go.
I still want to be like Xena, warrior princess.
Not anymore. No?
I want to be a killer. 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 I want to be a killer.
Kheyzine killed it on this beat, by the way.
La villana como el diablo, no soy colombiana, pero me respetan como Pablo. Yo soy la que mando, tú eres mi esclavo, con una mirada te mato. I'm a mix of Cataleya and Desperado. I got Medusa's powers, my kills I leave marked with the flower. La asesina que nadie se imagina, la mexicana que todo.
Okay, I wanted to cut it off earlier, but that's fine. So first few lines is La villana como el diablo, the villain like the devil, is what it means. self-explanatory. No soy colombiana, pero me respetan como Pablo. I wanted to add the colombiana because that's the name of the actual movie, you know. So I'm just saying I'm not Colombian, but they respect me like Pablo, you know, like Pablo Escobar, the drug dealer. So for those that know little bit about that story and everything with him, it was kind of like one of the most dangerous eras to live in. And Colombia was really dangerous because of the cartels. There was like a lot of violence. But at the same time, he did do, even though he did a lot of bad stuff, obviously he murdered people, and I don't condone any of that. But a lot of people also respected him because he gave back to the community too. So it was kind of like a Robin Hood, but also he did a lot of bad shit too. He was evil either way, but he did a lot of good stuff for the community as well. So it's kind of like, I guess nobody is perfect, and he's a perfect example of that. But I did say that line just because it kind of went with the vibe of the movie, Colombia, all that. So I'm not Colombian, but they respect me like Pablo. Yo soy la que mando means I'm the one that like owns this shit. You know, I'm the one that leads, that takes, you know, the reins and shit like that. So yo soy la que mando. And then after that, I say, tú eres mi esclavo. That means you're my slave. Con una mirada te mato. With one look, I'll kill you. And I'm a mix of Cataleya and Desperado. So again, kind of doing the whole assassin thing. So if you watch Desperado, Antonio Banderas' character is kind of like an assassin too. So I'm a mix of Cataleya and Desperado because that's one of my other favorite films too. I got Medusa's powers. Pretty much, you know, like I said, with one look, I'll kill you. So if you remember, if you looked into her eyes, you turn to stone. So that's where I kind of, you know, mix that in there. My kills, I leave marked with the flower. So if you watch the movie Colombiana, every time she killed one of the people that, you know, had to do with the death of her parents, she left the flower on them. So that's where that comes from. So that's where I wrote that. That was like dope because it fit right with the lyrics. So I really like. I'm proud of that lyric, by the way. And then la asesina que nadie se imagina, the assassin that no one even imagines, because if you watch her, a lot of the people, she gets away with it because being an assassin in the movie, because she's not somebody that you would normally think like, oh, that's an assassin. Like a lot of people think it's a dude. So she kind of blends in, you know. That was dope. And then I kind of cut it off a little bit, but the next line was La Mexicana que todos admiran. It's the Mexican girl that everybody admires. And then I'll go into the next part here. Let me play it here. Let's go. I'm gonna rewind it a bit so you'll probably hear it a couple times.
Power, la asesina que nadie se imagina, la mexicana que todos admiran. I kill all my enemies, femme fatale, no one knows my identity, committing felonies. My story is legendary, Elizabeth Bathory, I'll bathe in your blood, I can't be stopped.
Alright, so I kill all my enemies, you know, self-explanatory. Femme fatale, no one knows my identity. Again, femme fatale, it's a whole assassin vibe. Committing felonies. My story is legendary. Elizabeth Bathory, I'll bathe in your blood. So for those who are horror fans and history buffs and shit like that, Elizabeth Bathory was said to be like one of the first female serial killers, I guess you can say. I want to say it was like I might be wrong, 1800s or so. Might have been older than that, or maybe the 1900s. And she had like a castle, and she pretty much believed that if she bathed in the blood of virgins, she would remain young forever. So she would kill, you know, young women and bathe in their blood to stay young. So that's where I got that from. I was always kind of intrigued by that story, and the whole serial killer stuff is just intriguing to me, like what goes through their head. But I thought that story was really interesting, so I had to incorporate it here. And then I say I can't be stopped, and then let's keep it rolling.
Killing gives me a rush. This power is like a drug. It's never enough. I'd rather be feared than loved. The grimiest out the mud. Spooky gang is the only crew I trust. The spooky mistress is what I've become. What's done is done. The vampire that's immune to the sun.
Alright, so again, I kind of mix. Again, I'm a whole movie fanatic, but I always have to incorporate horror where I can, because that's a genre I love. So I said killing gives me a rush. Again, in the movie Colombiana, she doesn't kill for pleasure. She does it because she's seeking revenge. But I was kind of going off the bar with Elizabeth Bathory because killing gives her a rush, you know? This power is like a drug. It's never enough. I'd rather be feared than loved. Obviously, in real life, I'd rather be loved than feared. But I got that kind of also from one of my favorite movies, Bronx Tale. Um, the main mob dude, I forget his name, he tells him that he'd rather be feared than loved because fear lasts longer than love, which is kind of sad but kind of true. Um, and I guess I believe in both, I guess. But if it was in my case, I would rather be loved than feared. But I want to incorporate that because like again, I'm a character in this song. It's not coming from me. 7 Octoberz is coming as me as Cataleya, you know. And then the grimiest out the mud. Spooky Gang is the only crew I trust, so shout out my Spooky Gang fam. Again, rap collective out of San Diego. Dope MCs and producers. Check us out. We have our own page, Spooky Gang 619. But yeah, shout it out to them because they're one of the people that hold me down, the support system. So I trust them with that. So shout out to them. Love my fam right there. And then the Spooky Mistress is what I become. That's the kind of nickname they give me. So yeah, Spooky Mistress is what I become. What's done is done. And then the vampire that's immune to the sun. I thought that bar was dope. Again, it's one of my favorite bars I've written in a while too. Pretty much like I'm a vampire, but I'm immune to the sun, so nobody can fuck with me type of shit, you know. And yeah, let's keep it going.
I murder for fun, the psycho who is always on the run, addicted to the hunt. Sounds brought to you by Kheyzine. Can nobody fuck with the scream queen? I'm the god of my destiny, the final girl who survives the trilogy like Ripley. Yeah, I'm immortal, I'm immortal. You can't kill me, I'm immortal, I'm immortal. You can't kill me, I'm immortal, I'm immortal. You can't kill me, can nobody fuck with me. I'm the god of my destiny.
I just love this fucking beat. As soon as I got it, I like wrote to it like right away, I think. All right, so that's the whole track. Like I said, it's a verse and the hook at the end a couple times. So the last few bars is a murder for fun. Again, that's going with the bar of like the horror, Elizabeth Bathory, all that stuff. The psycho who's always on the run, addicted to the hunt. Sounds brought to you by Kheyzine. Again, shout out to Kheyzine for this opportunity. Had to shout him out on his beat. Can nobody fuck with the Scream Queen? Again, horror fan. I'm the god of my destiny. So fun fact, I actually wrote this track last year, right after God of My Destiny, I believe, a few weeks after the release, or maybe a few months after. So I was trying to, I was still in that mode, in that thought process of God of My Destiny. Again, for those who haven't been keeping up with my music, that was my first EP I dropped in June, my birthday, June 15th. Go check it out. It's on streaming everywhere. It's called God of My Destiny. Pretty much is meaning that you take the reins of your own destiny and follow your dreams, work hard for them, and just set your own path. You're the god of, I believe everybody's the god of their own destiny. So yeah, maybe it might, some things like if you believe in like destiny or fate, but I also believe in like you making choices that lead you to that fate. So always think positive, do positive things towards your goals, and positive things happen. So I am a strong believer in like manifesting shit, but also obviously working hard to get to that point as well, not just thinking it's going to come to you. So that's where God of My Destiny comes from. So I had to shout that out in the track. And then the final girl who survives the trilogy, like Ripley. So Ripley from Alien, who's played by Sigourney Weaver, badass. She makes it through the trilogy. So, shout out to a horror movie again. And pretty much that I'm immortal and you can't kill me, and nobody can fuck with me. So yeah, so this track is again also inspired like by the movie. It's not like me rapping as myself. Again, it's like in character mode. That's what I love about music, is you can write from just different perspectives, and I love doing that because, like I said, I'm a movie fan. So anytime I get to do that, I love it. I enjoy it. To flex the pen and everything. Shout out to Small Zuno, like we say that. Master the craft and flex your pen. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a short track, dope beat. Shout out to everybody again on this project, Cataleya, on Bandcamp. The link is in my bio on Instagram. I'll also put it in the link in the bio for this video. So yeah, check us out. Kheyzine has a lot of fucking dope projects. He puts a lot of music out throughout the year too. So shout out to him. And again, all the dope MCs, Jasmine, Kid, Ida, Nakaya, Nikki maybe. I don't know. Hopefully I didn't butcher it. Sorry about that. And then we got Bonnie Stone, who's fucking dope. Indigo Phoenix as well. Siren. So dope female MCs. Check them out too. They have their own music as well. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna do another one as well because I actually had 2 tracks on this project. It was Immortal, which I just broke down, and then the second track was The Raven, which I'll do a separate video for that. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and thank you everybody who's been supporting. Appreciate y'all. Peace.